We're practicing our gang signs for audio only people.
Happy May the 4th be with you, gentlemen.
Yeah, Star Wars.
You know, I was all good about May the 4th today until I saw the stuff about May the 6th. I'm like, when did May the 5th get just jumped over? And they just said, you know
we
what?
can't diss the Mexicans for Drinko de Mayo, bruh.
There's not a whole lot of Mexican Star Wars fans, man. It's okay.
Right, but it gives the white people a reason to drink.
Don't you remember a couple years ago when Mark Hamill was on Twitter and he was every day was something different? It was like May the 4th be with you, and then the 5th was, whatever it was, and he went through like all 30 days and he's like, "Yep, I'm never doing that again."
I don't pay attention to that loser, so no.
That Luke, sir.
Ha.
How you gentlemen doing?
Tired.
Yep.
It's been a long weekend.
And broke. Like I said earlier, I'm glad that Celebration was last month, and May the 4th came out of this month's allowance.
Ain't no joke, bro. I think I sent you $800 in 2 days.
Man, I was so lost with your guys' fun conversation last night because I was like eight margaritas in.
Oh, like that was
and like all of a sudden I'm reading this thing, I'm like, oh, that one picture looks pretty dope. And then you're like, nope. And I'm like, but you were answering like something else that was in the thread, and I was just like, you motherfucker, fuck you, you guys. And then you're like, wait, sense. What?
Yeah, I was like,
I'm all like
how am I teasing you? I literally said it is not too late for a pickup. I will pick it up for you.
Hell, I got mine today. It wasn't even yesterday. That's how late it was. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm sitting there like, I don't get what's going on here.
Obviously didn't get what's going on
I don't
here
think you did either. My man started Cinco de Mayo early.
Yeah,
noon. 11:30. Let's go.
That explains the margaritas. Cause I'm all like, I don't get why he's drinking a margarita.
Because I was at a Kentucky Derby, May the 4th be with you, Cinco de Mayo party. Man. So they had Bantha milk, they had mint juleps, and they had margaritas. I did one Bantha milk, but the Bantha milk's made out of amaretto, and the taste of amaretto just doesn't. I don't enjoy it. So I had one Bantha milk because it was Star Wars, so you got to. And then I dove right into the margaritas. And then they kept refilling the fucking cooler that had the margaritas. I'm like, oh, no.
No willpower at all?
Oh, zero. I'm not. Hey, wait. Hang on. I'm not driving. I don't give a shit.
Man. Health be damned.
Hey, I'm free this weekend. 8 o'clock is when my cutoff happened. So,
cheat
now
day.
I'm back on. Now I'm fasting.
It was a cheat day. It's fine.
So, but yeah. So
I got a new Roosevelt.
How was
at Disneyland?
Nice. One of us here is going to be a little jealous. There's a lot. There's too much going on, though, right, Lou? Too much going on. I said that shit when we were in Honolulu. Jack and I were texting. I think you were you were like, I can't like. And I looked at the one like dark side one, and it was pretty cool. And I'm like, nope, there's too much shit going on there for Lou. And Jack's like, you right.
Yeah.
But he keeps looking at it.
I keep looking at it, hoping it'll get better. It's not working. It's a cool looking shirt. It's like no. If I stare long enough, it'll be okay.
It'll turn into. You'll see this. You'll see the ship.
Man,
you'll see the good in him.
Yeah.
It may take a month before that grows on me. But it most definitely has not grown on me yet.
I'm kind of sad that Roosevelt stopped doing the koozies. I thought their koozies, the Star Wars ones, were pretty dope.
I think it's a summertime thing. Like as we get more towards summer, I think they'll have more.
Well, they have. I mean, now they have like another fucking 50 prints that they didn't have last year either. So.
Yeah, I think when they did their sale like 6 months ago, I was looking at that and I was like, man, I can just get all 8 or 9, 10, 11 of these things. It was like for $6 a piece. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
I did the same. There's a whole pile in the kitchen now.
Yeah. I like the binary sunset one. the one that's like Luke's farm.
Mhm.
They did a really good. They like shrunk the image, which I thought was super cool, and it came. I don't know. It looks really. I don't. I enjoy
They did a
using
good
that one
job
the
with
best.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a job with them.
So
Kudos to them for that. I was
well,
not
no,
when I first started doing all this and looking at Roosevelt's, I didn't even know they had those koozies. So I was like, oh, okay, what's this? And then I was like, damn, all right, this is pretty happening.
Right?
yeah. Well, and I mean, again, they're never going to sponsor us, but fuck Roosevelt's for having such good shit. Like they are definitely, but I feel like there's so much above and beyond most what other stuff we see for Star Wars stuff. Like I mean, the quality of their stuff, even if it's not necessarily stuff that I'm into as far as like the prints and stuff that they use. I mean, they're all dope. Like they all look super cool, and so it's always hard to be like, I don't really like this print, but I really like wearing their shirts. Okay, fine, basket. Like
Yeah, I wasn't feeling the Disney drops today though. Nah. Like the Empire Strikes Back poster shirt is kind of cool. But I'm like, nah, not for me. It looked too much like that assembled one that they had at Celebration. I was just kind of meh on it.
yeah, but I mean, it's still not a bad shirt.
No,
It's
it's a good shirt. It's just not a Jack shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
no, it's a good shirt. What was the other one? The other one was Revenge of the Sith one,
Revenge of the Sith one, yeah.
which isn't horrible, but meh.
guys, I went and saw 2 movies last week, and it was
Two?
Tuesday and Wednesday night. Both nights I saw Muggs walking in with fucking Jedi robes, fucking Padmes and shit. I was like, God damn, this movie been out a week and a half, and you guys are still wearing your shit. Fucking good
Yep.
on ya.
Yep.
Good
week
on
and a
ya.
half. It was only out for freaking 5 days. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought it came out the weekend before.
No, I think it came
So,
out the weekend that
It came out last Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's only been okay. I thought it was a
went
week.
Friday to Wednesday.
Okay, I thought it had been out the week before. So my bad.
Yeah, no, it came out when we came home, I think, from Celebration. Yeah.
That Friday,
made a shit ton of money for a movie that's 20 years old though.
Dude, when I saw that, I was tripping. I was like, it got the #2 movie of the weekend. Are you kidding me?
Right?
Yeah, no shit.
Only behind Sinners,
which was fantastic.
Also, yes.
Sinners was fucking awesome. Like, can we just go into movies real quick? Like, goddamn. Like, Sinners might be my movie of the year. Like, it was super tight. Like, even the parts where they're in the car, just like they're driving in the car. Like, I felt like even those parts super like the dialogue.
They're in a car in this movie. Spoilers.
Yeah. Sorry, Lou.
I think it was on the trailer, Lou. You're fine.
Yeah.
There was a
You
car.
can't trust the trailers. We all know that.
There's a couple.
There's a law.
There's a couple one shots that are just. There was one shot. I'm like leaning over, looking at the people that I'm with, going like just it was a really really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Agreed.
I like the fact that it was basically like 2 different movies too. Like there was one movie about like guys setting things up.
There was a B plot, Lou. You'll love it.
There we go.
Multiple B plots. And it wasn't just Jerry Seinfeld buzzing around. Come on, I even bought you a thing to hit the button, and you're fucking dragging your feet on getting that set up.
Look, when am I ever home? Seriously.
Well,
Lou's thinking about it. Jerry Seinfeld.
No. I'm thinking about the B plot because I was like, what did I watch recently? I didn't like the B stuff. Oh, it was Picard season.
All right, isn't there like 5 seasons of Picard, or is there only 3?
3.
3, and then they're done, right? Like this is done.
Yeah, they're done, and then 5. It was 5 seasons of Discovery, and they were done.
And then
I figure it makes sense to talk Star Trek and May the 4th week.
And didn't they say this is like the last season of Strange New Worlds too? Am I the only one watching that?
No, I just started season 2.
What do you think? I think it's fantastic as far as like a Star Trek. I mean, it's like my favorite. I think it's hands down my favorite Star Trek. Like, and I love
Next Generation. Still there for.
For me personally, I feel like Next Generation it's more, again, looking back on it and going, oh, like I grew up with that, right? That was where I first discovered Ashley Judd, right? Like, and right? Jack knows.
Wow.
This is going to be the episode where Jack and I just agree on everything. Remember when this happened? And he's like, yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
My sexual awakening at fucking Next Generation.
I mean, they all been wearing them skin tight uniforms.
They did wear them uniforms. Even when freaking Gates McFadden was here in Denver like 3 years ago, girl was like 71 years old. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, man, Gilf.
For real though.
It,
G-Gilf.
great
I got something.
Exactly.
I got something that needs to be fixed between my legs. Come on now, Gates.
Man.
Dr. Crusher.
Oh, I'd crush her, all right. You got to worry about that.
Dr. Crusher.
So watching her in frickin' Picard, which was shortly, I think, around the same time where she was in Denver, it was just like, oh man, even Marina,
Yeah, all the
it's
girls.
like, how she still looks so damn good.
Yeah, all the girls from new Next Generation all aged super well. Like it's kind of wild, considering how that was what 30 years ago.
5. It was 87 to 94.
Yeah.
So 30 years.
See, we can talk about other sci-fi besides Star Wars.
Yeah.
All the
We're
time.
not narrow-minded.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just wait till
Picard season 3 was basically a season-long episode of Next Gen. It was pretty good getting all of them back together.
Just wait until Lou's not here 1 week and Jack and I spend the whole time talking about wrestling.
Oh my God.
Allie's gonna love that episode. It's gonna be her favorite one.
Oh man, do you have your Roosevelt wrestling shirts?
I did not. I haven't bought a Roosevelt. No, they'd have. I might because they're all like newer guys.
Yeah.
Hell no.
No, if they went back to an Attitude Era, they got me a Poontang Pie shirt.
See,
done.
No, WWF era.
Oh, Jack,
it was still WWF then.
Yeah, it was.
It was not. No, it wasn't.
And the Attitude Era
was WWF.
The Rock was not WWF.
Yes,
he was 100%. 100%. Because Jack and I both owned a Poontang Pie shirt that we bought at an event that we went to. Because that was the only, you could buy it from the shop, but it wasn't the same. It was like the coloring was different. It didn't have the same phrasing. But if you were at the event, you could buy one that says, "Who wants a piece of Poontang Pie?" And it had a piece of pie and it had the Rock's logo on it. And Jack and I thought we were the coolest fucking guys in the entire room.
We were.
See, now I'm gonna look this shit up. When did WWF switch?
It was like 2010 or something that they switched it.
I'm gonna say 2007.
Sure? Is that I thought it was like a way long time before that. Not 2002. Let's see. 2001. So try that again.
So The Rock was in WWF then.
Yes. Yep.
You said 2010.
No.
The Rock was around.
How could that happen in 2010 if they switched in 2001?
The Rock has been in the wrestling since the 80s, bro. Or like the late 90s, early mid 90s.
The Rock's debut. The Rock's debut was November 17th, 1998, as Rocky Maivia at the Survivor Series as Rocky Maivia.
So he had 3 years
at the Survivor Series
in WWF.
Yep.
So when did this story you're talking about happen?
Like 99, 2000?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jack and I fit a lot of wrestling in between 99 and 2000 together. Dude, I was at his house every fucking Sunday to hang out.
Well,
and if it was pay-per-view, his dad just bought the pay-per-views. Like, his dad bought so many
cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, in the morning, I would get off
9 cents back then, so yeah.
Yep.
I would get off work. I work graveyard, so I'd get off work at like 6:30 or 7. I'd head right over to Jack's house, wait until Jack woke up. Then we would go and get breakfast and go do our toy run. And then we'd go back to his house and fucking watch wrestling. Like, especially on pay-per-view, where his dad was always like, all right, it's ordered. You know? And we watched, that was like peak WWF right there. It was like 99 to 2000.
No, oh God, no, it was not.
Sir, Degeneration
you
X.
Kids.
Yeah.
You kids.
Lou, suck it. Suck it,
I am Generation X. You kids.
You're not D-Generation X, though.
No.
New Age Outlaws?
2 words for you.
Iron Sheep.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Superfly Jimmy Snooker. Y'all don't know shit.
Oh, the murderer. Okay, so you're supporting the murderer. Okay.
Do you not know me? Hello.
Okay, that's fair. Look,
I watched it back then too. I'm just saying the Attitude Era of wrestling was
when
best.
Jack and I, Star Wars and wrestling, like Jack and I, that was when our DNA became intertwined, was those two things and all. But besides that,
And a 19.99 cheeseburger from McDonald's was on special and 39 cents.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Else it was $1.99.
Goddamn tariffs.
Oh my god. No. The late 80s, late 80s, mid 90s rest WWF.
Oh,
After that, it got fake.
Wrestling's still real to me until 1999.
Once we lost the Ultimate Warrior from holding the belt,
Jesus Christ.
it didn't matter anymore. It didn't matter anymore.
I love that Lou's whole wrestling relationship is just tied to the Ultimate Warrior.
I mean,
No, there was it went Hogan. You know, the switch over from Hogan to Ultimate Warrior was a thing. We actually had some real tag team troops going on. So
such as
did you? Yeah,
British Bulldogs. Come on now.
there was only one British Bulldog, sir.
Oh my god.
It was the British Bulldog, and he had his pet dog.
Yep.
No,
And then he was.
then he
with
got
his...
together with his brother. Oh my god, you guys are killing me. I keep forgetting you were born
Lou,
like 10 years after me.
Lou, I was not born 10 years after you. Disrespect.
Well, Jack was.
Baby.
More like 4, but whatever. Close enough.
Oh, talk about
it
people.
feels like
Talk about people exaggerating numbers. Lou's like,
Hello.
I was voting and drinking alcohol when Jack was born. Sir, that was actually only 4 years.
Did you forget I'm a Republican? We exaggerate everything. Come on now.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Oh shit! All right, we totally.
Dude, this celebration pod has gone way off track.
Yeah, we're already 27 minutes in, and it's like we haven't even talked about celebration at all.
But I cannot believe you guys don't know who the British Bulldogs are.
I do know that I'm just laughing because it's funny as shit.
Oh,
do you know who Demolition is, Lou? Do you remember
Who?
Axe and Smash? Oh my fuck! Really, Mister? I know 80s wrestling. No,
Demolition. I didn't say I know 80s wrestling. I just said I know that they were better in the late 80s, mid 90s. That's all I'm saying.
I'll give you like the Bushwhackers.
Oh, yeah.
Heart Foundation.
And Demolition. But you don't even know who Demolition is.
Okay, look. The British Bulldogs were in 1984. I was a child. I don't even think I watched wrestling.
That's what I was saying. That's why I was like, I was born 15 years before you guys.
15?
It went from 10 to 15.
Yeah, by the end of the pod, it's going to be, I was born 84 BC, and you guys weren't even born until 1997. You guys don't even know. This is why I know what I know, because I saw Christ on the cross.
Y'all didn't know shit until freaking the special edition came out. That's when y'all were born.
The special edition
first
of the
Star Wars movie you saw in theaters was Force Awakens.
First movie you saw was Rise of Sky. What? That wasn't a movie? What are you talking about?
You can see Duke's dreams?
The first movie you saw was season 2 of Clone Wars. Boom!
This is what happens when you have all this experience of being born 25 years before y'all. It's ridiculous.
Lou was like, I was an extra in Dazed and Confused when it originally happened.
Oh man!
Based on Lou's high school.
Yeah, exactly. Lou was actually the guy who.
Oh man! Prohibition sucked, by the way. Just so y'all know.
Lou's like, I don't even know how I survived the Black Plague. I mean, besides my color, but you know.
We just call it the plague.
Yeah, we just called it the plague in my neighborhood.
My stomach hurts now. That was an ad workout.
Shit. Damn it. Now we're just gonna have 100 memes of all the shit that Lou saw that we weren't alive for. Lou's like, I saw Super Bowl 1. I knew what the NFL.
That's why That's why he's a Steelers fan. He's been there since they've been winning Super Bowls.
I knew what the WWF was before WWE, and I also knew what the AFL was before the NFL, motherfuckers.
I told Lamar Hunt it was a good idea, and here we go.
Why don't you call it the Super Bowl? Oh, shit. audio people are just like, motherfuckers, it's been 20 minutes and all you've done is laugh. It's shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
shit.
But they weren't
Okay.
visual gags,
Well,
so
right.
Take
So,
two. Take
about
two.
about celebration, since that's what we were talking about.
Right.
All right. So 3 weeks ago now? Are we 3 weeks in? Past?
Nah, two.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, we all met in Japan, which we talked about last week, kind of, sort of. And we all
It
did
took Lou a while
celebration
to
together.
get there because he was escaping the Hiroshima blast, but
He actually was on the same Shinkansen as I was going back to Tokyo. And he was like, "Oh, it's my first time here. I'm glad I escaped." Those guys at Nagasaki better watch out.
Yeah, there was no Shinkansen when I was back there. It was too long ago.
Sorry, I was on the Shinkansen. Lou was on a rickshaw, just like. Oh shit! Too soon, guys. Too soon.
Oh.
Oh shit. Yeah,
that's why
and
we're
it
not
was
allowed to
held.
live in the same city.
Yep.
In trouble all the time.
The only reason Lou moved back to Denver is he remembers when it was established as a city before Colorado was even a state.
Well, he crossed it with the Donner Party.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
He was going the other way. The
Wait.
Donner Party's like, we're going to California. He's like, nah, you don't want to go that way. Go back to Denver, guys.
Well, you know how I like dating white women. So.
He's like, you look kind of frail. I'm just going to follow you for a little bit.
So anyway,
God damn. So I believe it was held in their biggest convention center in Japan or in Tokyo, right?
yeah, I mean it's where they
That
do
was like-
their anime cons, so obviously it's
Yeah,
got to be a
for sure.
decent convention center. The Makari
I think
Mesa.
you're assuming Japanese people like anime, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that was a little racist of me. It was presumptuous. I figured it was a cultural thing, like how they beat in sushi and stuff.
Much like Lou being 35 years older than us, they're also 5 years ahead of the curve on anime.
Yes.
So all the stuff that we saw 2 weeks ago is all stuff that's going to be super popular in the U.S. in like 5 years. So
That sounds about right.
It was in the
which
convention center. I thought it was laid out well. I mean,
I thought
convention
it was
center.
weird how they made us walk around to the back to like where the loading docks were. I thought that was kind of strange
to
to
get
begin
in?
with. Yeah. I was like, wait, there's doors, and they're like, nope, walk through this corridor
I
and
think
go
that
down
was for
this.
queue management, though, just to, like so
Maybe.
we're not lined up in the streets or something.
So I guess
because
should we,
there's only so much space upstairs to line everybody up to go into those doors.
shall we just go back to Thursday? So Thursday, you guys were supposed to land at like 3:00,
Yep.
2:30.
Yep.
And you ended up having an electrical problem. Lou plugged in too many devices into his USB port,
Mhm.
and you had to turn around, and then you ended up being delayed by 5 hours.
Yeah, it was horrible.
So at that point, I think there was kind of a little bit of tension, a little bit of a like, in the text threads and stuff. It was just kind of like, this sucks. We wanted this all to work out and be able to do all of these things to kind of get organized.
Yeah.
It all worked out in the end, but I think there was a couple hours there of like, ugh, like.
I think it was like annoyed. I was annoyed. Like my plan wasn't going, but I'm like, I'll still make it Friday morning. As long as I make it Friday morning, I'm good.
And I mean, we could even back up a little bit and be like, look, like this whole process of getting the tickets, getting the hotel, getting all of that stuff just was not organized well at all, in my opinion. Like it just seemed very, very haphazard. Like, for example, Lou transferred tickets to me for my friends, but they weren't actually my tickets. They were in like a gray area.
Yeah.
So like when I went on Thursday to pick up my tickets, they gave me my tickets, and I ended up having to ask about Lou's tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, "Oh, and your name's on these other tickets." And I'm like, "How do you just not have them all under my, like, why did I have to, I shouldn't have had to ask about Lou to get my tickets that he transferred to me, right? It's one thing if it was all under his name and that was fine, but like the fact that girl didn't even like say anything until I said, "Can you look up Lou and what tickets does he have?" And she was like, "Well, give me your ID." And I gave her the ID, and then she's like, "Oh, these tickets are yours." And I'm like, but I shouldn't have had, like, to me, if you've
Right.
transferred them to me, I shouldn't have had to do that.
I think it was on
Sort
their
of.
back end. We only transferred tickets and names so that we could use different email addresses to get panels and shit.
Right.
It wasn't like a legit transfer because they didn't do the was it light resale this year
The
where
light.
you LYTE. For
Oh,
the
okay.
last couple celebrations, they've used that to resell tickets. Like, oh, I can't
Okay.
go, so let me resell tickets. So you would actually transfer it to people. But this year they didn't do it for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a
Hold
Japan
on.
thing or
They did allow you to transfer the tickets, but only until April 1st. That was part of the problem. That should have been allowed to go up until the day before, the day of, because the like Jack was saying, everybody, I could transfer the tickets, and the tickets that I transferred to Jack, his family, and Duke's individual, that happened. But like Jack said, that only allowed you to try for raffles to get speed pass to the stores, panels, stuff like that. However, and it did say it in the documents, if I wanted to actually transfer the tickets to the person where they could do it all themselves, you had to have that done by April 1. Well, we didn't think it was going to be a big deal because we'd get there in time, because the idea is we'll get there early enough to go pick up our badges early enough so we don't have a problem on Friday morning. Like Duke said, in the end, it did work out. We'll get to that later. But that had to have happened by April 1. Well, if we don't know we're going to be delayed for any reason, how are we supposed to know to transfer everything
Exactly.
over by
Yeah.
April 1? That's
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Their
You guys
deadline to me was that because it was an option. It was the deadline that was a problem to me.
Yeah. So, but again, to me, that to me is the entire celebration, right? Like, it was something that should have been thought about and should have been part of the process, but it was one little thing that just caused it to just not be right? Like, or workable, right? And I feel like that was the whole weekend, was like there was so many things where it was just like a little more thought, a little more effort, a little more. Again, Reed's been doing this for decades now. This isn't like their first time. It'd be like if the three of us were doing a celebration for the first time. Sure, we're gonna fuck stuff up because we don't know. We don't know what we don't know, right? But these guys have been doing conventions, not just even celebrations, for years now. I mean, I think Lou even remembers the first time they did the World's Fair in like 1910.
It was before that, but I was at that one in Chicago. I know which one you're talking about.
But I mean, they've been doing celebrations for decades now, so they should know this stuff. And it should be, again, it's the same thing with Comic-Con, right? It's just, there's some things that are organized well and some things that work out really well. And then other parts that are just still completely broken. And you're just like, I don't understand how are you not looking at these guys who are doing it right and go, let's just follow that because it works well. Instead, we're just going to have this clusterfuck where people have 84 tabs and 3 phones and 2 laptops open to all get into a queue for whatever, right? And then, now we can even talk about the queuing again. I mean, I think we probably talked about it in a past podcast, but there were so many people I was in line with that were pissed off because out of the 3 of us, Jack was the only one to get the Ahsoka panel, right? And then guess what? Jack's 5 people in his party, he's the only one that got it, so he's the only one that can go, right? By the time any of the rest of the people who had email addresses were able to sign in, that was gone. So now he's going to go to this one room and all the rest of them are going to go to. No, nobody's going to do that. Like it just. But yeah, I mean, I was in line with people, especially people who had like ADA and stuff, or accessibility. Is that what they call it now?
Medical is what it was.
Medical.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Japan, it was just medical.
Medical. Like, who were like, well, I want to go see this thing, but I'd be in line with people and they're like, well, I want to go see this panel, but I can't have the person who I'm taking care of. They didn't get in. So like, and again, it all worked out at the end, but the fact is that up until that point, you just didn't know. And so I think that was super, super confusing and also just frustrating, the fact that I mean, it's fine if you want to treat the lightning lanes like that, because I think the lightning lane, they were kind of loose with it. If you were with a group, like everybody would get in type of thing. But the panels and stuff should have been treated like you're with your party and your party
Well,
gets.
they did though. If you were medical and you had a party with you and you went to the medical access line, you did get in.
I'm talking about the raffle before. I'm talking,
Oh.
but the fact is, up until that moment when you're in the medical line, you didn't know
Right.
that you were all going to get in or not, right? Like that to me is the frustrating part, because it's stuff that shouldn't have been a problem, but it caused problems for people, right? Like that's my point, right? Is that they had this raffle that you were like, oh shit, like I got into this and you guys didn't, and we all were hanging out together, and now it's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna go to the Andor panel or whatever, and you guys don't get anything. Like, but yet we're all hanging out doing the same stuff. I'm just saying it just caused unnecessary confusion, right? Again, like you were saying,
but,
Lou, like,
I mean, I'm not super mad that, like I'm there with my family. Only one of us got the panel, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? It's not like, well, I don't think they knew that you were coming with your family or your friends or whatever, right? So they're just they're looking at it like a seat, right? One person gets a seat and that's it.
But they fixed it before. Before you could be in groups.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
The last celebration was Anaheim that we went to. You could. So I don't know.
Again,
I don't know
why did
back.
they? Right. But that's my point, is that they have stuff that they have even fixed previously that they broke for this event, which which I think caused disruption to people's schedules and people's timing, and that was very frustrating.
Yeah.
So okay, so then Thursday I go and pick up the tickets that I can pick up. Meet up with you guys on Thursday night, which was cool, and then Friday we all get up in the morning, go, and thankfully
Rennie
Well,
eggs.
he didn't do breakfast with us.
No,
he didn't do
I
breakfast.
didn't do breakfast. I came
He
down
joined us
later.
afterwards.
Oh,
he came down.
that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, the line for the badge for you guys getting badges didn't seem like it was too big of a deal
No,
at
it
all.
was easy, dude.
Not at all.
It
was
took
like a
for a
walk-up.
while. It was them pulling our pins.
Yep. The pre-order stuff is
Yeah.
what took
But the
forever.
line, the queue was way smooth. So whoever organized that, they did a good job with that line. I wish that person would
Yeah, I
have been in
think
charge of
getting
every
word
queue.
out early to come and pick your badges up, and then enticing people with those shirts that they had to wait in line for 5 hours for, suckers.
Yeah.
I think that helped. Just kind of day of, everybody's like, "Cool, I got my badge already, and we're just going in."
But that
Well,
queue,
if you saw, I was paying attention to some of the social media, and the queue to get your badge on Tuesday, the first day, was ridiculous.
Oh,
Not just
sure.
the T-shirt,
Yeah.
the queue itself was crazy. But looking at all the social media afterwards, Wednesday and Thursday were basically walk-ups to get your badge.
I think Thursday night I sat in line for maybe an hour. Like it wasn't super bad at all to go up and get the badges.
Yeah, but no, ours was walk up. I don't think I waited more than like 5 minutes to.
I do wish that queue person would have actually done every single queue in the event, because I think things would have been way better otherwise. But yes, the badge queue was good.
But yeah, no, that went smooth. They pulled all of our stuff, so my backpack was full of the of pins before I even
because you
had
were
my
not
badge
expecting
around my neck.
You were not expecting boxes.
Not like that.
If I had known ahead of time that I could just open those boxes up and fit them all into one box, I would have done.
I would
that
have made Friday a way better day
instead of day 10. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the boxes were.
Yeah, they were huge. I think they're still in the house. I don't think I brought them in yet. But yeah,
But,
no, they were ridiculously huge for pins.
Yeah, for pins with stands.
Yeah.
But like the pin and stand could fit in about 10% of the size of that box, if that. It was. Let's put it this way: I ended up I opened up 10. I think 10 of them. 11, 12, 14. I opened up 14 on the trip back to consolidate. 14 pins and stands fit in one of the boxes. Yeah. That's how much of a waste space it was. Yeah. I'm not going to say it didn't look good, because it did look good. But it was a waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to take, especially with the stand and everything. So obviously they wanted you to take them out of the box. Yeah. Right.
So after that, we just jumped in the store line.
Yeah. We did
we went to go spend that money, brah.
We did the medical line, which was not bad at all.
We
only waited in that line. It was like an hour and a half, I think, total, right?
We got there about an hour.
Yeah.
15
we got there early, but like once they
opened at 9, we got there
But the point was, it wasn't extremely early, like Celebration 2, where we were in line for 5 fucking hours
in the snow.
in the snow, right? Like outside with no covering or anything. Like, so this was way smoother as far as that goes. So I guess that Q person also did the store lines.
Yeah,
Well, it was
they
all in the
had
same building, so yeah, probably.
4 lines. They had the lightning lane line, the VIP line, the medical line, and the regular.
And so we got into the shop pretty quick. The shop wasn't organized super well.
Not until day 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
line, like basically
T-shirt.
for the t-shirts and for the art prints, it was basically like a bar. Like you would just push
Mhm.
your way up to the front and get somebody's attention. And the people that were in front of you, they were running up and down because they were following the people because nobody knew what the numbers were, right? You'd say, I want 8, 12, and 32. And they would be like,
I don't know what you're
what?
talking about.
Like, I know which ones are here, and that's all, right? So then they would end up walking to the other end of the line
Mhm.
and never coming back. So even if you saw somebody in front of you, unless you basically grabbed that person by the sleeve, pond to bob at them, or word them, you wouldn't. You were waiting for a while.
My experience wasn't that bad because I had notes on my phone. I wrote down the number shirt that I wanted and
Sure.
the size,
Yeah.
and then gave the lady my phone.
Oh, well, there you go.
And she just walked over and was I saw her. She was just looking down and was like, "Okay." And I did it. You know me. It was an number order, lowest to highest. So she was just going left to right because the numbers on the shelf behind the counter were left to right.
Right.
And she just saw us like, okay, I need a 13 medium, and I need a 12 medium, a 13 medium, a 15 extra large, a 19, and she just followed the line, then came back with my phone.
And then she fucked it up and gave you a medium anyway.
And then she fucked it up and gave me a medium Darth Vader instead of an extra large. That's my own fault for not looking, but whatever.
But I think that goes back to, again, the just coming up short, right? I think if they would have applied what they applied to the food hall to the t-shirts, it would have been a lot smoother. You get in a queue, they give you a piece of paper, you check off the ones that you want.
Maybe.
But
like
you just did that. You said you just did that.
No. But I said maybe because day 2 it was done differently. And it was perfectly fine.
Sure. Yeah. But I'm saying like that's something that they could have built on from day one.
But the shopping is part of that experience. You don't want to. I don't think people want to order that way. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to browse.
I liked Anaheim where they had the cubby holes, their shirts above, different sizes for the cubby holes. You walk up, saw the shirt, and then was like, I need an extra large. So I pulled it from that one. I like doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't like the behind the counter thing at all.
And I guess the art. I didn't go do the art print stuff. Did you guys? Did either of you guys go there?
No.
But I mean, that looked like a nightmare as well.
Yeah,
like,
that was a long line too. Yeah.
I agree. It looked disgusting.
But it was weird how like everything seemed super spread out, but like there was like clusters of people everywhere that it made it really hard to like figure out like and there was no like there was no directions. So you were like, oh well, I want this shirt or this pin or this whatever. You end up spending 20 minutes wandering around because there'd be like, well, here's all the Empire Strikes Back pins. Here's all the Revenge of the Sith pins, and then over here is all the Celebrations pins.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but there was no signage pointing you to any of that.
Yeah,
and there was nothing like
signage.
If they just had a giant thing on top of the bins for the Jedi,
rack.
Or I'm just saying like a sign on top that's big enough for you to be able to see across the store that says Revenge of the Sith stuff. Okay, cool. I can go over there and there's the pin and the shirt and whatever. Like
they could be more specific than that. Like they had the gondolas up.
Yeah.
I've seen them at stores like I don't know Target or whatever, even like Ross's. They have the pole that goes up on with the flag, and they can just put pins here like badge art pins. Boom, you know where they are. The red medallion coins over here. But there was nothing labeled.
Yeah.
You had to actually roam around to try to find what the hell you were looking for.
Well, and I heard some lady asking one of the staff people about one of the items, and she was like, "It didn't come in yet."
Yeah,
so there was a percentage of stuff that never even made it through customs.
Yeah,
and she was like, "Hopefully, it'll be here tomorrow." Well, that's
that never happened.
Yeah,
and also, I mean, and that was one of the I think Saturday or Sunday, Jack. I think it was Saturday when I was back at the store. I think Jack asked me about that because I think it was the 20th pin you wanted.
Yeah, the Revenge of the Sith pin that they never had. Yeah.
Pin. So I actually went to a staff person and said, "Oh, those did not arrive, and we don't expect them to."
Yeah.
So my guess is just like every other celebration, it'll be on Reed's site in a few weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, they listed some stuff already on the Star Wars store site, right? Or Disney.
Wow.
I thought they did. I thought there was a few. I thought there was a few celebration things they had listed right after. It was like the Tuesday after.
Oh, well, Amazon did.
Yeah, Amazon had yeah, because Amazon sponsored the app. That kind of sucked, or really sucked.
Yeah, Amazon had like T-shirts. They had like the tote bag or something.
Yeah,
It wasn't
it was
anything
like, it
like
wasn't a
good,
lot. It was like the hat and the shirt, but it wasn't the Try logo shirt. It was just the
right?
regular logo
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think the Try logo shirt ever showed up. Right? We never saw that.
I don't think I've seen it.
I saw. I
Honestly,
mean, we saw it on the website before, but we've never saw it in
Correct.
person.
When I was there looking for, I can't remember, this might have been Sunday, because I think I was looking for a fleece
Mhm.
that Jack Scale wanted, and it was like I walked up to him, and then because they were all the fleeces and
Mhm.
hoodies, stuff like that. The far end to the left is where the logo shirts were, and somebody else, I was about to ask about it, somebody else did, and they said they didn't show up.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be fun.
It'll
When it
be
launches,
a
yeah,
race. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, all of us that have tickets will
Yep.
have first dibs,
yeah.
but
But
it's
on
going
the
to be this.
plus side, at least we won't be racing for the badges because we got
This
those
is
taken
true.
care of.
Yep.
That was
They
one of
did sell out on Saturday.
they did. Okay,
Hmm
so it's good
I
that
didn't know. I don't understand why they sold out. That
Right.
should just be an order
Yeah.
until
well,
we know.
and really the only way you even knew that they were available was by asking somebody. Like they didn't have a sign up because I think there was two.
Correct.
I remember seeing two things under that list. Like they had to go to like a special menu on their page, and it was the badges, and it was something else that you had to like. It was like a special order.
When I walked up just to do that, because I went and got all whatever I was going to get, forgot the badges, so went back in, and then I went and asked a cashier, and they didn't know what I was talking about, and had
Yeah.
a supervisor. The
Yeah.
supervisor knew
Yep.
exactly what I was talking
Yep.
about, and it was
Yep.
in
Yep.
Japanese. I wrote it in my
Mhm.
Google Translate, and I was like, trying to buy or looking for a badge set is all I typed in, and then the guy went and got somebody else, and he came over and saw it and was like, oh, grabbed the dude's tablet and instantly
Yep.
pulled it up.
Yeah. And then you just had to type in all your information.
Yeah, just put in all your
So,
address and stuff like that.
That
So.
was the one. That was the one thing that we didn't do a good job of communicating with. Was that I didn't know that when you bought the badges, you bought all three of them. I was like, oh, okay. So when I was reading the text thread, because I think I was out of I wasn't paying attention for a few minutes when that was all going on. So then when I came in, I was like, oh, well, Lou just bought them for him and Jack, which is fine. Again, I'm not. That's so. Then when I bought them, and then like later that night, I was like, yeah, I got the badges, and you're like, I got all
Yeah.
three. And I was like, oh, all right, well,
I was
Whatever.
like, that's all right. Well, I
who's
got
got
somebody.
who's got two
I got
thumbs
somebody
is
for
an
the next one.
idiot.
Right. It worked out because it'll get used.
That being said, the badge art was fantastic.
Amazing.
Oh my god, it was so good.
It's been really since the Jack, was it Jack Jock, the
Yeah.
Jock badges, that were the kind of the cartoony ones that he did,
Mhm.
where you could actually go to. He was actually at the
Yeah.
celebration. You could go get him autographed. He would autograph them for you. Those are the ones that we had. I was kind of bummed out that they didn't tell us who did the art for him,
They did.
because
He
did
was
they?
there.
Okay.
He was there. He
Oh,
actually
okay.
signed some badges. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I guess I missed that part of it then. So cool. I'm glad that they gave him the props that he deserved, because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did a really good job.
They there was
Yeah.
actually an interview with him on StarWars.com even.
Okay. So yeah. So then that was our badge experience, or that was our store experience,
Spent
and then
ton of money.
Mostly that checking out was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it was.
which again they fixed the day after, right? Like it went
Yeah,
way
they fixed
smoother
it.
on
It
Saturday and
did.
Sunday.
But even you got screwed over. They didn't ring up two of my items. I had to go back and get them the next day, and they overcharged you for two items.
Well, because his barcode scanner wasn't working, so he was putting everything in manually. And again, I'm like, by the time it took him like 20 minutes to ring up the half a dozen things,
Mhm.
and he's like, okay, it'll be 15,000 yen, and I'm like,
Cool. Thanks,
okay,
bye.
like,
I got shit to do.
because at that point I just want to get out of there. I'm not like going to like, hang on, let me fucking make sure. And he said he was going to double check. That's my fault for assuming that he was going to do that. But I mean, it's whatever. It was $30 or something. I'm not super
yeah, it wasn't
about
crazy.
it. But
Yeah.
again,
Mine-
the principle, right? Like,
Yeah, mine they like you said, they were double checking. They counted the items on the register, how
Mhm.
many they had listed versus the items they had on the counter for me, and somehow two of the badge arts weren't included. And I was like, you know what? We were packing stuff up, and I couldn't find the receipt at the time. We were packing stuff up and all this. I was like, maybe it's in Duke's bag, maybe it's in Jack's bag. And I was like, but the next day, I bought them again, just in case I didn't actually buy them. And turns out I found the receipt the next day, and they didn't charge me for them, even though they pulled them off the shelf. They didn't charge me for them, so I was like, I'm glad I did get them. Ugh, that would have sucked. I would have sold all of them because I'm missing one.
What's it?
Did you complete the blind boxes? You both have.
We
both
sure
had
did.
Yeah,
full
we both
sets?
have
All
a
right,
set.
cool.
Yeah.
That actually went pretty smooth. I mean,
That
overall,
went too smooth.
Yeah,
actually,
it
went too.
was-
Even
I mean, I bought like 30 boxes of them, so.
but even getting the Loath Cats the next day would have taken me 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm here to do this.
Well,
I got to trade to get Loath Cats. 10 minutes later, I had 5.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that one staff member didn't have one, but went and grabbed one, and then came and found you guys. Right. I thought there was somebody who had.
Yeah, we walked in first thing in the morning, and we were like, because there was like 4 staff members. I'm like, you guys got Loath Cats? Because we were ready to go. And they're like, no, we didn't grab them yet. And then one of them just showed up out of nowhere and threw it at my little one. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Ah, here's the back.
Yep.
Sorry if it got stuck in her.
So it's like, honestly, if that was maybe supposed to be what we thought was going to be one of the hardest ones to get, and we probably could have got a dozen if we really wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, you put a little effort into it, it would have been easy.
And so then after that was Roosevelt's, right? On Friday?
No, on Friday, that's when Lou and I were still trying to
we were doing
get our
pin
pins.
hunting, sponsor pin.
We were
sponsor
you had to go to
almost
certain
all day.
booths and buy a certain amount of stuff.
Oh, and that's when my friend was in line at the Roosevelt's booth, and I went and joined him.
Yes.
Because I didn't have any interest. Yeah, I went to Roosevelt's. You guys started working the vendors for the pins. So this was Friday
and that one
after
booth took like 2 hours.
Yeah. Like, again, going back to Hot Toys had, I think, the largest booth by far, but you couldn't see, they had a bunch of stuff outside, but the inside, you couldn't see anything without waiting in the queue. Like, if you just wanted to go in and look at what was around in their booth, which I never went in their booth, but.
Well, actually, you did not miss anything.
But I'm saying their booth was so big, I assumed there was stuff inside.
Nope, it was 100% shopping. So that wall where you walk into the food hall,
yeah,
that was everything that was inside.
Yeah,
and that was it.
So, but then they still had the biggest biggest booth. That seems weird.
It was a huge shopping booth.
So you went from one queue to another, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. You go from outside, you go inside, and then they have a winding queue where all the 12-inch figures are.
Huh?
And then they just let you loose into the shop, and then everybody's just running around crazy, buying shit.
Okay.
And then what they do is, as you leave, they're keeping track of who's leaving to let that many people back in.
Yeah.
So it was just
it was
the whole time.
Efficient.
For what it was
in the
efficient.
end, I don't know why it was such a long line, because it shouldn't have taken anybody that long in the store. But I guess people are slow shoppers.
No, I was going to say, when I was in there, I was one of those problem people, because all the good stuff, quote unquote, good stuff was gone. I was just picking up the stuff that I knew I needed to pick up for other people. So I grabbed that stuff, but I wanted to see what else was around in the store. Turns out it was a lot of repetition. Like, they had some stuff over here. The same stuff was over here. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I did take the time to look at everything, even though what they could have done to make it, this is not even a harsh complaint, because it wasn't that bad once you got in. They could have done the Comic-Con thing or whatever, or the Funko thing, where they give you a checklist, and it's like, I want this, 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 and this, because you would have had an opportunity to see it outside or in line with the little pamphlet they gave you, because everything was in there. So once you had that, you could have checked it off, and then you go through the store line and just hand them your thing.
That's what Hasbro did last year, right, at Comic-Con?
Was that Hasbro? Yes.
Yeah, Hasbro's
where you walked up and you had just a little checklist. And you said
checklist?
2 of this, 1 of this, 2 of this, and then they grabbed that and would go to the back. Yeah,
they told you what the limits were and everything.
Yeah.
That's what they to keep people from killing time in the store, especially. Here's the thing. That really wasn't needed. You didn't need time to walk to the store, knowing that all the items were around the outside and in the pamphlet.
And they could have doubled up the stuff on the outside if they wanted to and put it on the backside.
Yes.
Right? They could have wrapped it to where anywhere you were walking, there was the list, there was the row of things that were exclusive or being released that weekend or whatever. But they only had that one on the main side.
They even could have put more inside. So as you're doing the zigzag inside, you get to see it again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you really want,
Yeah.
all for your impulse buys. As long as they give you the, like I got to admit, this is going to kind of a super sidetrack. As much as the food line sucked, if you were there at the wrong time, the paper with the little clip pin
Yeah.
was very
Yeah.
efficient.
But that's what I'm saying. They could have
They
applied
need
that
to do
across.
that for
Mhm.
They could have applied that across the board for everything, and I feel like it would have went that much smoother on so many things.
on a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, some of the problem would have been like a lot enough registers. Like when we were in the N-Ski or N-Sky line and it took forever, they had 3 or 4 registers and it was going fast for the most part because people knew what they wanted.
Mhm.
It was a little bit of communication issue here and there. But for me, it was simple. I just pointed, it
Mhm.
was like, kore to kore, which means this and this. And so I literally did that. It was kore for the 4 or 5 items that I
Mhm.
got. I could hear on the side of me though, there were people you could tell it was like, oh, they're having trouble with the communication thing, what
Yeah.
they want.
Yeah. Where a bore, a clip,
An
a
order
piece
sheet
of paper
would
would
have
have
been.
order sheet would have been.
Yep. Yeah, you
Well,
could
and
put
then
it in
but then
Japanese and English because
and
I think everybody there either spoke Japanese or English.
and you guys got the majority of your vendor pins outside of a couple, right? That
That
on
first
Friday.
day?
One,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all but one, I
I
think. We
I
only
thought it was
missing,
2, but it could have just been 1. I
it
thought
was top.
Tops was Tops,
Yeah,
and I thought
Tops
there
we
was
definitely had to
another
go
one
back the next
I
day.
thought there was another one you guys had to go back to get.
There were some I went back to get because I
Okay.
needed them for a girl.
Okay. Okay.
Because I had to go back because some of the ones she wanted was sponsor pins, which meant I had to go through that, like that long ass blues and I want to call it Blue Sky. It's a vendor out here in Colorado, but the N Sky line,
Mhm.
I had to go back to that one to get her Ewok pin. Then I had to go back someplace else to get the like the BB-8 or something like that.
Something,
And
yeah.
then Jack's oldest helped me with the third one.
Yeah.
So
Well, so while that was you guys were doing that, I was in the Roosevelt's line for 3 hours.
get out! I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was that long.
Yeah. And my friend who I kind of snuck in line with had already been in line for an hour before. So like it was 4 hours.
So for him, 4 hours. I forgot. I was like, why was it so? I forgot they had their
Yeah, they had
credit
So
card.
the
problem.
biggest problem that they had was that they couldn't do tap to pay because to do that in Japan, you have to have a Japanese-based bank account.
Oh.
Sort of.
So like
Because they had
that
it
was
fixed
my
like
understanding. No, they didn't. They were still entering it manually.
not when I went there Saturday.
So there was one. There was one. There you could.
Fine.
You couldn't tap to pay. You had to slide the card or put the card in, and that was only one of their devices. The other device, she was still. What I went through on Saturday, she still had to enter it in manually.
Huh.
So
That's weird.
Glad I
Saturday
missed that
night.
then.
Yeah, I'm glad I missed that too. Because Saturday night I went and did mine.
okay, then I don't know what the problem was because Friday, both days I went, she had to manually enter in my card.
Well, to be fair, I went later than you. I went the end of the day on Saturday. You
Okay.
were earlier,
Yeah.
so maybe they had it fixed by the end of the day.
Maybe.
And I don't know what happened on Sunday.
Nobody did. That booth was empty.
So that was long. They sold out of all their. I guess they only had 200 pins of each of their
Oh,
exclusive
is it
pins.
really? Huh,
So they
yeah.
sold out immediately. And there was a
Oh,
guy
damn.
ahead of us who was talking about how he'd sold one online for a set of them for $250, and I was just like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like,
Sounds like you could have
because
done
again,
more than that.
nobody. I felt like even with the limits, everything that was exclusive that people there was any interest in at all, it was gone by early Saturday morning, right? Like there wasn't, all the Hot Toy stuff, the majority of the Roosevelt stuff, like all of that type of stuff where there was people in a hype for it. They weren't limiting it out by days or anything else. And even if they were limiting it by 2, they weren't like punching your card. You would just go hop back in line and could go back through and buy another 2. Like there was no.
Oh, I'm okay with that though. I'm okay with that because that means somebody else had an opportunity to get in line and they chose not.
Yeah.
That's a choice.
But I think because they weren't.
I'm okay with that.
So I think by Saturday a bunch of the exclusives were all gone. Like they were
by lunchtime Friday.
Well, so when I was going through the line on Saturday for Roosevelt's to get the other shirts, the guy came out like at least twice and was like marking things out saying sold out, and then he would update with like the sizes that they had left of whatever the exclusive shirts
No,
were.
I never saw
But
that.
my friend bought the jacket, so they had a
Mhm.
Roosevelt's Darth Vader
Samurai jacket.
samurai jacket that was
Mhm.
actually super cool, and like a hat that actually
Mhm.
I don't like the hats with the slider in the back or the clips because my head's too big.
Oh yeah.
But he wore it and it was sharp. Like the shirt and jacket combo was super sharp. Like, and I was
But
like
he
in
couldn't get the
line.
pin to go with it.
Yeah, no shit. So
The
annoying.
jacket was cool looking. I ain't gonna lie. The jacket.
And to be honest with you, on Saturday when I was in line, I was like fourth in line, and I was like, well, if I go up there again, like my friend did nothing but talk about how comfortable the jacket was and everything, and I was like, well, I go if it's still available when I walk up, and literally I was 4 people, and he comes out and goes sold out, and I went, well, decision's been made. Like, thank you for saving me $75.
But you're not wrong though. The pin sold out on Friday for the weekend over at Hot Toys.
The
I
Flower
think it was
Trooper.
the Anakin and the
The
Flower
Secure
Trooper
yeah.
sold out on Friday also. Then and again they did not allocate for the days.
Mhm.
Not everybody does, and not everybody wants to because they want to make sure everything sells.
Yep.
So they don't want to risk it. I get it. You don't want to try to ship that stuff back, anything that doesn't sell, which is why Fig Pin, for example, on Sunday they were doing 2 for 1
Mhm.
on their stuff because they did not want to bring it back because the cost to do so. So I get that. I'd be more. I don't know. I'd worry about that on Saturday. Friday, I would have limited it 1 per
Mhm.
person. Knowing you have a hot item that's limited to 1,000 pieces, I don't know what the number was. Who
Or
cares?
250
A
or
hot item,
500 or
yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
On Friday, I'd have an allocation, and then I'd be 1 per person. Go through the allocation, see how it's doing. If you see that you plowed through your allocation and all that, okay, great. You have an idea of what to do for Saturday and Sunday.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, it's not selling as fast as I thought it was. Fine, cut the
Yep.
allocation and cut the limit. But for the first day, I would have maybe given it a try
Like a day and a
because
half,
it was
honestly.
even a day. Okay,
Saturday morning. Yeah,
Saturday
morning.
lunch,
Midday
lunchtime.
Saturday, I'd be like, we're doing
Open up.
okay. Yeah. Otherwise, or shit, we need to get these moved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
everybody that missed it on Friday is coming back Saturday morning.
Exactly, and they're going to be the first target. And that for them to do 2 per person, I'm not opposed to that either. I don't think there are people who still. I used to be
Box
one
one
of
and
them.
display one.
Box one, open one. So the 2 per person, not. And again, I'm definitely if like Duke was saying about the whole people get back in line. I'm like, let them.
I mean, if you wait in line, you waited in line.
I could have went through the Hot Toys line instead of the In-Sky line to get my sponsor pin. And my priority for me was I wanted the pin set. So,
I guess I was
later, then I would have done that. But it's like choice.
I guess I was just equating it to Comic-Con where they punch cards, right? Like you'll walk in and there'll be places you go where they're like, boom, okay, like you've bought your 1 or you bought your 2 or whatever, and you're done for the weekend, right?
That still doesn't apply though, because you had a Friday, Saturday, Sunday badge. They punch your Friday badge. How do they know?
Well, I think that's a screw up on Reed's part as far as. But you're right. I mean, if I had a Friday,
Comic-Con doesn't do.
Yeah. Well, but you're also typically, I don't think people are buying Friday, Saturday, Sunday badges, are they? Because they're then
have to.
Or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday badges, because then they're not getting preview, right?
But some people can't make preview. Let's say if you were trying for preview night and you didn't get it, you're going to try for a 4-day next without preview night.
Sure.
If you don't get that, you're going to try for Thursday. Let's say Saturday sells out first. You're going to get a Thursday, Friday, Sunday badge. So now you have 3 opportunities to go to.
Potentially, but at least it's limiting you by day, right? So it's a limit,
okay,
right?
You're
not, and again, yeah, if the guy wants to wait in line for 4 hours, sure. But I think it's just an allocation thing, like Jack was saying, like, or what you guys were just saying. I agree with that. Like, you play it out, you see how it goes. You put out 150 Flower Troopers, and you see how the sales work through the day, right? And if you blow through them in the first hour and a half, you know that, hey, we're fine. We could do another 150 on Saturday and another 150 on Sunday, and we'll probably be fine, right? Especially when it's something so limited like that. It's one thing if it's just like it's premiering at Celebration, but it's not a limited to any degree,
right? You just get.
But if you're saying there is 250 Anakins that have the Sith eyes, okay, that's going to sell. Like, to not go, oh, I don't know if it's going to sell out. You're 100% selling through all those. There is at least 250 people who are going to be like, yep, I fucking want that. Especially for Hot Toys, where Hot Toys has a huge community of people who love all the shit that they put out. And they always buy every single limited release, right? I can't tell you how many times I've seen something online or got an email where they're like, oh, like this. And you click on it 10 minutes after it releases, and it's like, sorry, artist is, or the limited is sold out. The one with the 3 extra heads and the 2 hands is sold out, but you could buy the regular one. Like, that was my only thing, right? Is that, excuse me, leveling the playing field. And again, I guess for me, like, my whole experience for Celebration was frustrating. So that even things like that also proved to be frustrating, you know. So that was Friday, right? I mean, we didn't really.
Well, the food court.
Hall. No. Food hall. Complete. No, they labeled it food hall. Like, it wasn't food court. So we've all done celebrations, Comic-Cons, you know, all the different types of expos that you can go to. And every single one of them that I've ever been to, you wander around and there's little pockets that have, you know, the burger place and a drink place and whatever, and a little setup of tables. This was not that. This was like at the very, so number one, there was no water anywhere. There were no water stations. There was no refill stations. So even if you had a bottle, like, you weren't refilling that motherfucker.
That was
the only places that you could get water were, there was some vending machines in different places throughout the
convention center.
Throughout the convention center, which again is not. I don't think that's an adequate answer. When you have 85 or 95,000 people in an event and you don't give them access to water, like, come on. You know, Comic-Con, even the hotels have, you know, the jugs of water and all the ballrooms and stuff like that. So at least if you dehydrate, it's your fault. It's not because there's no water.
Yeah, and all the bathrooms in Comic-Con, in between the men's, women's, whatever, there's the water stations.
Yeah. So this,
not just
even the bathrooms, you couldn't use the sinks to fill up the water because the faucets were too low. Like, it was, the whole situation as far as the water goes, probably to me was the most disappointing part. Just because, like, if there was people who had medical conditions and needed water, and, you know, you go in on Friday, like, people learned, I think, Saturday and Sunday, brought their own stuff. But also the fact that the only place that you could sit down was after you went through the line. Like, you had to go through the food hall line and order food in order to be able to sit in the seating area, like, where they had benches and tables and stuff. Like, I don't know. That to me was kind of tacky. Like, the fact that there was nowhere else in the entire convention center that was easily accessible, that there was nowhere else to sit or take a break or whatever.
That's not true. Upstairs had a bunch of city seating area.
Where? I mean, I never went upstairs.
Oh, yeah. No, there was a ton of seating upstairs.
Okay.
Ton of seating, ton of vending machines. But there was an actual food court where you could get food.
Okay.
Upstairs had it all.
But again, there was nothing directing you to that, right? Everything just said go to the food hall. The only way you knew is if there was stuff upstairs was if you happened to go up there or you heard about it.
Yep, somebody told me.
Right.
That's how I knew.
You were standing in another line complaining about how there was nothing, and somebody would say, "Oh, just go upstairs." Like,
well, you're right. They didn't even tell me. I overheard it. Somebody else was complaining, and somebody else told that person. It's like, oh, if you go upstairs, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, now I didn't do it till Sunday. And even then, I wasn't doing it to go do food or drink. I was doing it to cross the street to go back to the store for the last time. Before I was heading out to go do, Osaka and all that. Yeah.
So I guess the other big thing that happened on Friday was when people almost died. That was Friday, right? With the animation pickups and everybody getting.
God, was that Friday?
I think it was Friday because Saturday they fixed it. Saturday was
I
have no idea.
So Friday
we were going against the river. You remember all those people were coming at us and we were trying to leave.
We end up staking a spot in the food hall after being in line for hours. I end up watching everybody's shit for like 2 hours while everybody goes and does stuff. They come back and pick me up and pick up all the stuff from the store because it was a half dozen bags, 8 bags of stuff. And so we start making our way out because I think we were getting ready to leave, right? We were done with the day, and we so the the very end, so hall 7, where the food hall was also where the giveaway
Redemption
pickup
room. Yeah.
area, the redemption room was, which at Comic-Con is like a mile and a half away in a different hotel. And you know what? You put all your tickets in the thing and they have everything set up for you. They only have the amount of tickets. The amount of posters that they have is the amount of tickets that they have, right? So you can go anytime and go pick up all your shit from this one spot. Well, they decided to put it right at the end of the food hall. So on Friday, they only had one door open, and the door was cut in half by there was like some scaffolding that was up promoting, with some directions and promoting celebration. And we're walking back. I think we were leaving at that point, right? We were getting ready to head out.
We were leaving. Yeah, we were leaving.
And then there was a 20th anniversary Lucasfilm animation panel that all 3 rooms were part of.
Yep.
Which was, I think, the first one, right? That was the first.
It was like the first big panel, I think.
The first big panel that all 3 rooms were in the same
I think so,
thing,
yeah.
right? Because then Saturday was
Andor
and Ahsoka, and then Sunday was Visions.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically, the panel let out as we were working our way back. They gave everybody tickets. So it's 3 rooms. I mean, probably 1,000 people, maybe more, a couple thousand people.
It's like
and all of them are sprinting to go to the redemption room, which now we are between them and the redemption room, and it just stopped.
Yep.
And we were there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
At least.
Kind of like you would move 5 feet and then stand for 10 minutes. They would move 5 feet. You would stand for they ended up there, people almost got in fist fights. People were yelling at each other. We had the Andor one way out, one way. People started chanting one way out. It was.
Well, I say at the end for us, because after that is when Jack finally joined. Because Duke and I and Jack's oldest, we got through it.
Well, so go ahead. Sorry, Luke.
I'm saying we just got through it before Jack did. So we got through it. It was like, I thought he was behind us.
He's dead. He got swallowed. Well, so we are all wearing, the funniest part about that is, so all 3 of us are wearing our beach shirts from Comic-Con that weren't announced. And so I think they're probably really rare as far as the grand scheme of Roosevelt's, right? I feel like those are rarer than the rest of them that they announced, since it was an unannounced one. And so I think we saw one other guy that morning.
Yeah,
right
after
had
the store,
the beach shirt on. And so we stood out from everybody else because everybody else is wearing dark black, dark clothing. And Lou and I and Jack's oldest finally fish our way through. Some people tried to go around where we were coming from, and everybody that was going the other way starts screaming at them to get the back of the line, no, don't go that way. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So a bunch of people followed us, and they were like, thanks for wearing those shirts, you got us through, we just followed your shirts. And it was just it made that whole thing just funny, because they were just like, thank you. And we're like, we got you. It was police. I think the police were called. Somebody called the police and showed up to break up the line.
Or organize
and then they made a point after, to just loosen things up, right? They did open up another door after that, and they made it a point during all of the panels after that to say, if they had a giveaway, you don't have to go right now. There will be enough for you.
They did have enough. On Sunday, you could go down there. You could have picked up all the posters without even going to the panel.
Yeah. So, So
that was... I didn't do. That animation poster was pretty sweet.
Well, especially because it had...
I know that was an option. You just walk up to the table and ask for one?
Yeah. I saw something on, I think it was Reddit, that they were saying that there was a character on the animation poster that was somebody who was... Oh, it was from the Robot Chicken guys. The Detours show that was supposed to have come out 10 years ago, and then they made 50 episodes or something, but they never actually released it.
Yeah.
I guess one of the characters or the animation style of that character was in the poster.
Oh, cool.
So they were like, well, now it's canon because it's in the poster. So then that was Friday. And we all bailed after that, right? We headed back to
I think that was KFC dinner that night.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long day. And then Saturday, you guys got up and split, and I met with my friends who were joining, who had come to Japan to hang out with me during the trip
Right.
before you guys got there. We had gotten them Saturday badges, so we all met up and walked in as Anthony Daniels was being interviewed on the live stage, which was cool for them. I've seen Anthony Daniels a dozen times, so I was just like,
Whatever. Fuck that
whatever.
He's a bit of a
And I
jerk.
was like, okay, guys, if you want to hang out here, I'm going to go back to the Roosevelt's booth.
Right.
And then you guys just, when you start work, we'll work together type of thing. One of the people that I was with was super excited about the art show, which ended up being super, super disappointing. Because all the other celebrations we've ever been to, number one, there's an artist alley. So there's even above and beyond the art show, there's always somewhere where you can go and see a ton of people who've done Star Wars art or had been commissioned at some point to do Star Wars art. They didn't have that at all. They had a few of the bigger names peppered throughout the exhibition halls, but not a dedicated spot. And then the art show, outside of the two people who were or three people who were based out of Japan, all the American people, or U.S., I'm going to say U.S., but there might have been people from Canada or wherever. If you weren't from Japan, the only thing that they had on their table was the print that the art print.
Yep.
And so my friend, who was super excited about seeing the artist alley and seeing the art show, was pretty disappointed. So I felt myself justifying a lot, going like, well, it's because it's Japan. Like, come to Las Vegas, Los Angeles. It'll be.
It can only bring so much with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, I agree. They
So
do
how was your
usually
guys'
bring like the extra stuff. Saturday we
Started off at Tops.
That was right. We did. So we went to Tops because it was you had to go through their booth and experience all the stuff they were there to promote,
to get their sponsor,
which was actually cool. I mean, I
really
wasn't
though.
mad we did it.
I wish
and
the
it didn't cost us anything afterwards.
Yeah,
so.
it didn't cost us anything.
I do wish the card game was. I don't know what I would expect out of it, but I tried the card game for a little while and just got bored with it. Like, it just.
The one from 25 years ago?
Yeah, the one that they were promoting, the card collection or whatever, like where you'd buy packs. Or
well, there's the game that was like in the late 90s that came out after Magic, and then there was just like the regular collecting set.
But I thought that's what the card collecting set was what they were promoting at the booth.
I don't think so.
Did they not? Okay.
I thought there was a
digital.
Right.
I thought there was a digital one.
Oh no, I don't know about a digital.
No,
one.
you know what they did? They made us download that app. Remember, like the first thing we did, we had to download their card app or something.
Yeah, I did the card app.
I don't remember it being a game though.
No. It was you basically just earned coins or paid coins, and you could buy packs of cards.
Oh, okay.
That was
because what they were. Once you went to the experience and got your Darth Maul pin, they were offering to buy, I guess, ahead of time, because I don't think it was exclusive. It was like 6 packs for $100 or $120. Was like, Jesus, $20 a pack for whatever this pack is. They didn't ask me. The line was starting to back up, so it worked out. I just got my pin, and then she was like, "Hey, would you like?" Everybody in front of me, we'd like to buy this. We'd like to buy this. One person did. One person passed. I was like, when I heard her say it was $120 for 6 packs, I was like, no, because I would have considered it. Like if it was the old school box of Topps cards, you get 30 packs, whatever, and it's $100. I probably would have bought
and a guaranteed autograph. Like type of thing.
Yeah, because it's one per box.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have bought it if that was the case. When she said the box was $120 for 6 packs, I was like,
yeah. I would definitely want to know more about that, because I would definitely at least want a chance to get my money back on that. Because I would say probably 95%.
Autograph card would have done it.
Yeah, I would say 95% of Star Wars cards are not worth the pack that you bought. The only ones that are.
They look good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they had some good looking cards there going through. I was like, oh, I like this style. I liked how they did this. And like, but no, maybe it's because I'm used to buying Magic boxes when I played, and it was 36 packs for $100, 15 cards per pack. Or back in the early 90s, when I was buying the Marvel cards and stuff like that. It was like the Marvel Flare, the Flair, yes, the Masterpiece cards. Same thing. I'd buy a box because then I'd almost get my whole set. Then I go back to the store and buy the individual set I wanted, to finish out the set with trade. And that wasn't how it was.
So
that being said, booth was great.
Were you old enough to buy those baseball cards when they came in cigarette packs back then, Lou?
Well, I was at that point. I was working for the company, so
Okay.
I was pretty up in
Okay.
there. So
And
I'm pretty old.
for the
I was
company,
pretty
he
old
means he was working at the store that they were selling them at. And
for the company, yes. So somebody had to promote it. You guys have to remember, back in those days, you had a person who actually went door to door out
Right.
doing this type of stuff.
After
That's
that,
right.
I think
I think we
Roosevelt's
split
or
up.
Fig
You
Pen.
you went that way. I went to
Yes,
N-Sky.
because you went to go get your extra vendor
No.
pins.
No. I did go get a brace. A
wristband.
Roosevelt.
wristband, yeah.
I got a wristband. Then I went back to finish up the sponsor pins.
Yeah. And then
then,
I
Or
think
not
that's
me.
when I went to Fig Pen and there was nobody
Yep.
there, and I was looking for the
Yep.
overflow queue. I'm like, there's nobody here.
Lined up at the back of the wall here,
Like,
the
is this the queue? They're
SCCC
like, yes,
expectations.
there's nobody here. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll take one of everything.
Dude, that was weird though.
It
Fig Pen in
was.
Japan, very different than Fig Pen in Celebration,
Yeah.
Anaheim, and in SDCC.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah, I don't think nobody knew anything about it or something, but
Because it was at the end of the day when I went back there
Yeah.
to get the Ahsoka set, and I didn't get the other set because they told me they didn't have their Celebration stickers. I remind me, I need to email them about that. And then they said we were expecting to get them in, tonight. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just come back on Sunday then and buy them then. And then just jumping ahead, they still didn't come in. I went back on Sunday.
Had to buy
I
them anyways.
did get those pins, but they weren't no stickers.
Yeah.
So I'll have to email them and ask them. I saved my receipt, so
It's actually
hopefully
your
they
Fig Pen
send it.
account, dude.
no.
Yeah,
For
I
real?
went on there because I was buying other
That's right.
stuff, and I clicked on my account history, and they're on there.
That's super cool. All right.
But it's funny
That'll
because they
work.
put it in dollars. So I'm like, I spent $151,000 on Fig Pens? What the fuck is this order? Oh, it was yen.
Also,
We're fine.
not surprising.
Oh,
Not
God.
surprising.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
depends
mean,
on what it is. Depends on what it is.
Doorables or Fig Pen? Yep, I would totally expect that to be a.
Yeah, when you see that at the end of July on your credit card statement, it's like, okay, that's legit. But I think, so I ended up going back to N-Sky, and then I went to the one that had the little squishies. Was it Happy something or
Happy Robot
or something
yeah.
with an S?
Yeah.
Either way, I went over there to finish that setup. And then I think that's when I went to Roosevelt's to meet you.
Right.
And then you were gonna get the shirt for old girl.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna go back to the store, I think, to do the
I think that's when you
Lothcat
went to go
training.
get Lothcat. Yeah.
That's when we split. Yeah, and then so you had the extra wristband that ended up going to Duke later in the day.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. Because then I hopped in
So-
line behind you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a
Yeah,
savage.
so-
I'm not a savage who's just gonna cut in line like most of those assholes.
Right.
So I went over to the store. At that point, I think I took a picture for you guys,
Mhm.
and it was a 5-hour wait for
Mhm.
the regular line, right around lunchtime. So I go inside, get, like I said, I forgot those pins, those badge art
Mhm.
pins the day before,
Mhm.
so I grabbed that. A few things here and there, some of those red coins I thought were cool, and after the fact, so I couldn't get a set because they had sold out on Friday. Some of the, like Ahsoka and somebody else had sold out on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Did my pin trading. It got 5 Lothcats, like I said, in 10 or 15 minutes. I expected that to take a lot longer. So nope. And then I was about to leave. I purchased, walked out, actually left the building. I was still on the sidewalk right there with the queue of all the people. And then that's when Jack reminded me about
Badges.
He's like, badges? ? I'm like, shit. Turned back around, went inside, went straight to the register. And that's when I told you that story already and got that done. Then I left again, and I didn't. At that point, I just wanted to sit down, so I walked over to the food truck area. Food truck area was freaking awesome. So many choices, so much of everything. Not surprisingly, the actual hamburger, not the Japanese hamburgers. The actual hamburger line was the longest.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the one thing that most people could relate to.
It was really good though. Wow, the
And the
burgers were
tacos.
the burgers were really good though, because we did them later in the day and
In the food court?
Yeah,
in the food truck area.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so I ended up getting a crepe of all things. 'Cause I wasn't that hungry, so I was like, oh, this crepe is good. I figured I'd get a crepe, eat dessert, and if I'm still hungry, then I'd get some proper food. Um, I think I had like a banana caramel cream something. I'm like, oh my god, it was so good. So, and then I ended up sitting down and met this one girl from Kansas who's living in Japan, and in Netherlands, Holland couple came and sat at the table of 4 people. I was like, hey, anybody sitting here? She's like, no, go ahead. And then there were 2 open seats, so a couple came by and they're like, can we join? It's like, yeah. So ended up chatting with them for like 45 minutes. I chatted with the girl. I think her and her husband. She's ex-military. Her husband's still in the military. So he was deployed someplace and couldn't make it. So I was chatting with her for a bit. Then the 2 showed up, and we all chatted for a bit. Then the 2 left, and another guy showed up. And that's the guy that was there at the end of the day, Jack.
Oh, that was still there?
Yeah, the Scottish sounding dude or whatever, or the British sounding dude. So I ended up leaving the 2 of them and went back inside, and it's kind of like roaming type of thing. I think I went and got my own fig pen and was just picking up whatever last minute stuff I was getting for myself. Because I was there for quite a while because we didn't stay all day Saturday. It was go in, do some more shopping, and then when all was said and done, I went back out. I think I helped one of my friends from Colorado. Actually, I picked up a Jar Jar Funko for him and chatted with him for about an hour on the stairway in between the hallways. Then I went back over, like I said, did my shopping, went back to the food court, and the guy that I was there like 3 hours previous was still there. Yep. So I joined him again at his table and just kind of sat and waited for Jack and the group to come by.
Shit, what else were we? So I was with the girls.
Is that the day you saw Nibs?
Jack went to a panel also.
Yeah, we went to
Ahsoka,
one of the
right?
fan panels.
Oh, okay.
It was for Jedi Survivor, but it was just these girls that have a podcast talking about it. So I took a nap. Hey, I didn't realize that that's what that stage was for, so I had a nap.
But then you also went to Ahsoka too, right?
No, the wife and the little one went.
Oh, that's who went.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where we found out about Loaf Balls that will outsell Grogu.
Yeah, probably.
And Starfighter was Friday, right?
Yeah. Was done. So when we saw that, we were actually in that long ass Insky line when Levy and Ken came out, and they announced it there. So that was kind of cool. I mean, like we were there for that,
Yeah, we were right there, and the stage was right in front of us.
Yeah. So. And then Hayden was out there. Everybody saying happy birthday to him. I guess it was his birthday that week. So. No, I mean, it was fine. But gosh, what did we do the rest of the day? After that...
Well, I know we left early. I know that much.
Yeah, I don't think we definitely weren't there till close. But...
That's when we went to KFC that night.
That was KFC night. Because I didn't join you guys for KFC night.
Yeah.
Friday... Was Friday... Was Friday a Lawson
might have been
night?
A Lawson's night.
And the hotel, the rice.
We got
green tea rice night, right?
Yeah.
That show was good.
It was.
Yeah. And that was all we had. We had the Lawson's after, but then we did the green tea rice to kind of just try out what they had there for the late night menu. Because then the following...
Because it was free.
Sunday night Sunday night was when we did the 7-Eleven, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did
you guys did.
Walk to 7-Eleven.
Well, no, you were with us, Luke.
No.
You were gone. You had left at that point.
Gone.
Yeah, you're right.
That was Thursday night. I thought was the 7-Eleven night.
You're right, because that was the first night.
No. It would have been Friday
or Saturday.
No, because Saturday we did KFC.
Okay, then it must have been Friday.
So it would have been. It had been Friday was a long walk to 7-Eleven. It turns out there was one around the corner.
Yeah. Freaking tourists.
I
don't know what we were doing. I guess we finished off that. But I must have been doing something with the girls if Lou was already gone.
Yeah, I was about an hour. I probably waited about 30 minutes to 45 minutes for you guys outside.
I don't know what I was
just
doing.
Chilling. So what did you do for that last bit?
You and me had already gone through and got all our vendor pins together. That's when we got the clothing spray.
Yep.
Which worked well.
That was Friday.
Right.
Yeah, that's right, because he had to use it for his Portland shirt.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with the girls then.
Or Saturday.
I don't know.
I think maybe you were just finishing your panel, maybe, and then
Maybe.
just joined me. And as soon as
Yeah.
you were done, you came and met me outside the food trucks.
Yeah.
And then we left because we were trying to avoid a little bit of rush hour.
Yeah.
So it was that 4:30 to
Yeah.
5 type of range. We were just at the cusp.
Yeah.
So I think we got on the first train at like 4:45.
Yeah. So we were like, nope.
And then we got back and dropped our stuff off, and it was like, okay, we started looking. We wanted to find a sushi place. We took like 45 minutes walking around the area looking for a sushi place for the oldest.
I don't know how
and
you
we
didn't find no
one.
sushi in freaking Tokyo. That was weird.
Dude, to be fair, we were outside. We weren't even in
That's
Tokyo.
true. But
we
still.
were. I don't even know what the hell town we were called. But either way,
Again with an O.
were we? Okay, I thought it was a Y.
Yeah, it's like Yachio. Yachio?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Yachio.
Yeah.
Either way, we walked around. We didn't find anything that really stood out that we wanted, so we just defaulted and said, F it, let's just go to KFC. That was across the street from the hotel. And it was definitely different. A little bit of a language barrier at first. We're scanning the menu with our phones to try to understand everything. And then the lady asked a question, and we had no idea what she said. So I had her do it in the Google app. It was just here to go.
And we were looking around. We're like, what do you mean? How am I going to eat it here, bruh?
There's no place to eat here.
It was upstairs. I looked, and they had security cameras. And they were upstairs.
Yeah.
You go upstairs.
And it was a full area to eat, like bigger than some American KFC restaurant seating area to go up there. So we told them to go. Then we got our food, ended up staying here. And I apologized to the lady. I was like, we didn't know. I was like, sorry, we didn't know. And we went up there.
She's like, whatever, American. Leave.
Yeah, basically.
Go down.
But
Go down.
It took us maybe 10, 15 minutes just to order.
Yeah.
Because we had to figure it out. But I enjoyed what I had. So
good.
I enjoyed my macaroni salad and my chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
And then I think we didn't do much after that.
Well, I showed up, and then we went back down and got chicken nuggets as we did every night.
We did, every night. Chicken nuggets and a beer, man.
Yeah.
Or some alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. Now we went to bed, get it back again on Sunday to finish out celebration.
Sunday was late. Sunday was late day.
Yep. Yeah.
Sunday was, we will plan to be there when after everything is open. Not by much. Like,
no.
They open at 9. We got there like 9:45.
Yeah.
No, we weren't doing anything great.
Sleeping in that much.
And I did not join you on that Sunday. I ended up going elsewhere. But yeah.
And wait, didn't you show up with your friends later that day?
No, that was Saturday. Sunday we went to Wayno Park. We went to Wayno Park and went to all that giant market, the street market.
Yeah. Okay.
So I didn't go at all on Sunday to celebration.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Jack, what was your? We got there.
We were just screwing off, dude.
I went to the store. We went in. I had to go get my fig pin. And the other pins from the other 3 booths, whatever it was. Sales, I think they're called. Salesforce, Sales 1, Sales something. Sales 1. So I did that. I think
we did it too. We were just right ahead of you though, because you were getting your other stuff, and then I went to go do my Sales 1 stuff.
Because then I had to ask you, like, where the hell's Figpin? I remember asking you about that again. No. It wasn't Figpin. It was the Sales.
Yeah.
Because Figpin, I went to.
It was Toink. You didn't know where Toink was. So
I didn't know where Toink was. And we went together to Figpin because that's when we helped that lady not trade the
glitter
fancy
Lola.
Coin. Yeah, the glitter.
And then she gave it to my oldest.
Right? It was like, thanks for saving us. We got an extra one anyway. You have any trade? No, we didn't buy any of those. Okay, well, here you go anyway. That was pretty cool. So Sunday was basically a lot of last minute shopping, whatever last minute stuff we needed and going through. I take that back. I did go to Roosevelt's because that's when I got myself Chewy-san.
Yep, because you were iffy on it.
I was, and then I was like, wait, we could do matching at SDCC. So, because we'll tell you which day. I was going to say, we'll tell you which day, so you're wearing it too. But yeah, because I didn't want one at first, but old girl wanted one.
Nice.
How'd it go? No, I'm talking about, because usually you count your nice shirt.
Everybody loved the shirt. And it has, since it has a Japanese writing on it, which I need to probably translate, they were it just like led right into how was Japan, like, because they all saw it. And,
got it.
So, very cool.
And then I would show off that has the fold over that Jack showed us.
That's so cool.
Like, to cover up the buttons.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Look at
So on
your
the-
I know
the-
I
shirt.
haven't opened them either
So
one. Of
So
them
look
yet.
at 'em.
on the shirt, you see how I see the you see how you see the button? They actually added an extra flap that matches the picture and
Yeah.
covers
Uh-huh.
up the buttons.
Only for that one?
That one and
That's
I
the
know
first one,
the
I
haunted
thought.
carbonite one.
Oh,
It's the first
that's
time I've
super
seen
cool.
them do that with those full panel shirts like that.
The anime one that we got there?
Yeah, the haunted carbonite
Oh,
one.
that's
That one has it
badass.
too.
Okay, that's badass. Yeah, like I said, I haven't opened any of those yet. Still sitting in a pile. No, that's super cool. Let's see what else. Sunday got there, did that shopping.
Sunday is when I did do panels though. We went to the
Okay.
Disneyland panel for the updates on the Disney rides. So Smuggler's Run's getting a big update when Mando and Grogu comes out next year. Being an engineer won't be the bitch seat anymore, where you put little kids, because now you get to chat with Grogu. He's going to pop up on the screen, and engineer also gets to pick which planet you go to, because now you get to pick which planet you go to.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they're already testing it because it's just a video game, right? If you've been on Smuggler's Run,
when all
it's
said
just a
and
video
done,
game. So they just go there in the middle of the night, boot that up, and they're playing fucking Mando and Grogu Smuggler's Run. I'm like, you mother...
How terrible for them.
Right? And then nothing else really new. I mean, they talked about how they're adding all the Ahsoka and Andor and Mando to Star Tours in Tokyo that we've had since last season of the Force. Nothing about Rise of the Resistance. They talked a little bit about how they brought Luke in for Disneyland for the
Cloud Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Wait, that's only for Season of the Force?
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought that was a
time
permanent thing
kind
they
of,
were
yeah.
doing. Well, good.
Right.
I mean, they say that now, but
Right. Hey, look, they did the limited for Hera and Chop and Sabine. So I mean, they're sticking to it pretty good. The only one that
but I mean, they at least have them
Wait.
available, right? So they have them
I was like-
available for
Limited for Sabine. Didn't we see Sabine in December?
No.
Oh,
No.
you're right. It was last May.
Yeah.
And then again today you saw, or yesterday.
No, I did
Also,
not
I guess I'm
no.
getting a Star Wars. I'm getting a Star Wars Night shirt because the friend that I was with, the one that bought the album box,
Uh-huh.
him and
yeah.
him and his girl went to Disneyland last weekend. So he texted, "Oh shit, I forgot to go pick up his. I gotta go pick up his package. I forgot to go pick up a package for him. I suck."
This guy.
He was.
It's on record.
He
right
was
now,
supposed
too.
to text me and let me know when it showed up, but I got to go do that after we get done with this. So.
And then we watched the season finale of Rebels. I was like, no, that's cool, whatever. It's excellent Star Wars, right?
Oh yeah.
But it was in Japanese and it was still really good. And then we
Thanks
stuck around for
reminding
the closing ceremonies. It turns out that 70% of the people there in first celebration, which I think explains a lot of the issues that were had. Then they announced it's going to be in LA in 27.
I don't know. Wait, I don't know how that connects because
they don't know what they're doing either.
Yeah, but I didn't find the fans to be a problem.
Yeah,
like
the people there weren't a problem. Like
I didn't find them to be a problem.
They were just as confused as we were.
The one thing I would say, and I don't know how true this is, but I would probably put money on that cluster F bottleneck that you ran into. People at SDCC who had been there a while, they would have figured it out. The fans would have figured out how to make that work.
Yes, definitely.
Like everybody going this way, going the right way. It would have been right side here.
Self-corrected for sure.
We would have corrected that, and then the people on the right would have went through, got there, and then circled back around to the line.
It would have been self-corrected.
I think we would have been able to figure that out, but that 70% might have been part of the problem there that they don't know how to. They're not used to it.
And they, the culture walking on the left and all that. That was weird.
Yeah,
I caught myself doing that at Disneyland all weekend. I'm like, shit, I don't walk on the left anymore. It's on the right. So that caused some issues this weekend. But yeah, so that's what I did. So we came back from Disney Tokyo and went straight to Disneyland Anaheim. No,
hold on, back up. Because I want to. After your panel on Saturday or Sunday, did you guys just go back? Or no, you went to the mall, didn't you?
Yeah, we hung out at the mall where the
you guys did
station
McDonald's
was
that day. Yeah.
So we walked around that mall. It was like a bougie ass mall over there.
It was a very fancy mall. Yeah.
You know, we can't afford to buy anything, even though we were Japan rich. And they were like, well, fuck it, let's find a McDonald's. So yeah, no, we went over to McDonald's. It was around the station. Like, you know, when we left, you just go straight to the station. If you go left, there's a whole nother mall back there. We also got Baskin Robbins.
I was
Yeah,
really tempted to do Taco Bell.
yeah, we went
I'll
to
be real.
right. I would have done it just for a
my
beer, honestly.
I was gonna say, my friend that I got the Jar Jar for, he raved about it because he's like, I know it's Taco Bell, but the fact that I could buy a beer here is what did it for me.
Yeah.
So I
No,
was
so
like,
we went to
fair enough.
McDonald's. I thought it would be a repeat of KFC where I don't speak the language, going to take forever. No, they had a kiosk that you switch to English. So
And
that shit
then
was
bingo.
easy.
Hell
I was like,
Get a little TP for your place sitting.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
so we
real
ordered
simple.
it. I got
Anything Japan
a
specific?
I got a teriyaki burger, which was
Yeah, there we
delicious.
go.
There we go.
The wife
Yep.
got a samurai mac, which was a soy sauce. I think it had egg on it, like the eggs they give you on
It did have egg. Yep.
the biscuits in the morning. So it had one of those eggs on it. It was pretty good. The girls just got regular food. I got a potato and cheese stick or something. It was actually, no, potato and bacon or something. It was delicious. It was like, you know, we get apple pies. They have fucking potato pies. It was actually pretty good.
Potato pie.
And the little one got a Happy Meal, Avi. And they gave her some weird ass doll. I don't even know if it was licensed or if some bootleg shit they got at Daiso or Donkey or something.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And then after that,
I didn't even know that story.
we went to Baskin Robbins, and we got some ice cream. And then we took the train back.
Early night, shit.
Nah, it was dark. It was dark before we got on
Was
the
it
train.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow, you must have been at the mall for a while.
We
then.
were. Yeah, I mean, we made sure to.
Oh wait,
walk over to all of
I
it.
forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Plus, you actually stayed to the close.
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
closing
So
time.
he was
exactly,
there.
yeah.
He was.
So,
They were there.
yeah,
They were there until 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
right?
we were there
Yeah,
till
I'm
they kicked
thinking
us
y'all
out.
were gone. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking y'all were gone at 2 or 3
Yeah.
to start your day. But no, you didn't even get to the mall until like 5:30.
Exactly. Yeah. We also
Okay.
saw our own Japanese.
Oh yeah.
I dared Big One to go ask if he knew. Not like us, but she wouldn't do it.
Was that at the mall or,
Yeah,
or
he
on the
was
walk
like
back to the train
singing like
station?
outside of the train station. You know, like where that baseball thing was. There was like trees and stuff over there. He was over there.
They call them idols when they're out. When people are out singing and stuff. I learned that while we were there because that's what they hope, right?
Right.
They hope that somebody walks by who hears them, who actually has some influence and can make them a deal. So they call it idols or idling or whatever, like because basically you're American idling, right? Like you're
Yeah.
So,
Trying to get that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But you're just a street performer. They do that here too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's my. It's like okay for them. I guess street performer isn't a phrase, so
Right.
idol.
You're a poor that doesn't have a real job, sir.
Man. Well, as we wrap this up, I'll finish my Sunday leading up until conversation next week. So after I left Jack and the group in the morning, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
11,
it was
probably
early.
close to
Yes,
11.
we did our art
Yeah.
show. We picked up all our art prints, and you took those back to the hotel.
We did that. Yeah, we consolidated our art stuff because I was going back to the room.
Mhm.
I was going to Osaka that night, overnight. I was going to hang out, and I wanted to kill some time and all that, and ended up killing time in Shinjuku because that's where my station was. My bus station was to go to Osaka for World's Fair on Monday. So Jack and I did our art print thing. We consolidated. I went back to the store, just last minute stuff, just kind of looking. I think I ended up buying like 3 things, like some other of those metal coins, those red coins. I think I ended up getting like a Han and a to go with the Leia that I got, and I think a Luke, and I think I ended up getting 3 more. And some, I don't know, something minor. Oh, I know what it was. They were doing shirts.
Mhm.
Every day they had a specific shirt you could go
they had a
in,
daily shirt.
and this one was Ahsoka.
Oh, nice.
And since old girl's into Ahsoka, I waited the 45-minute process to 45 minutes. It was like 20 in line and then 25 for the shirt. So I got that shirt, and then once that was done, I was like, okay, It's still early enough. I'm going to go back. My bus wasn't until 11:30 at night. So I was like, I'm going to go back to the room, drop all this stuff up, shower, change, get ready for the next day and all that, take a nap, and go from there. And so as I was leaving, I was leaving, and there was some Japanese girl, probably 20 or so. She looked young, got out of the store line. She was in the regular store line, and she just was walking the same way I was going to go back to the station. I caught up with her, and I tapped her on her shoulder, and I was like, English? She's like, a little bit. I was like, were you trying to get into the store for something specific? Or she's like, I just wanted to look around. I was like, hang on. So I pulled out my lightning lane pass that I had for Sunday and was like, well, I have a lightning lane pass. If you want to use it, I'm done. I'm not going back in. It hasn't been used yet, so it's still scannable. So if you want it, you can take it. She understood what I was saying. She's like, her eyes got all big and she was super excited and was like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I gave it to her and she turned around and I kept if she was older, man, she was a looker, I ain't gonna lie. But she looked a little too young. It was like, she reminds me of my niece. No, nope. we can't go there. We can't go there. So she went back. I don't know whatever happened to her. Hopefully she got through and got something. I don't think I went straight back to the station. I think I did. I took a long way. I would like the way we were going, just to see what else was around there. I took a long way. Train was fine. Going by myself, it was perfectly fine for the first time, I think. Perfectly fine. Got back to the hotel. I think I ended up taking a nap first. I can't remember if I took a nap or the shower. You said you were taking a nap. I took the nap first, then got up in the evening, I don't know, 6 or so. So 2-3 hour nap. Took a shower, obviously unpacked my backpack, only put in there what I needed to go to Osaka. Took the train down to Shinjuku and was just hanging around the nightlife of Shinjuku for a bit. Found myself a ramen place for dinner. That was kind of cool. That very touristy in Shinjuku. It was definitely foreigner. I won't even say American. Just a lot of Europeans. That's for damn sure. Oh my God, more than any. I found more Europeans than I did Americans, especially Australians. But that kind of makes sense. They're closer. So hung out in Shinjuku, was super cool. And it got to the point where it's like, okay, I should probably walk towards my bus since I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I want to make sure I get there and not miss this thing. So I'm heading back to the station, and there's again street Eminem, just some Japanese dude just with his machine, just rapping away. And I'm walking towards, that's where my station area was. I'm walking towards him. All of a sudden, everybody's kind of stopped and looking up, and I have no idea what's going on. So I do the same thing. I turn around and look up. Godzilla. That's what I thought. Nah, it was that freaking 3D cat billboard. Yeah, in Shinjuku that it was on my list to do, but I wasn't really planning on doing it then. I was just kind of killing time to get to my bus. And I was like, I don't want to miss. So I turn around, I eyeball this thing. I'm probably watching it for half an hour. It's kind of ridiculous because the cat would do something for like 30 seconds. Then you get like 5 minutes commercials. Then the cat would do something for 30 seconds. It was kind of weird. But at the same time, when all this happening, I'm listening to Japanese Eminem just go at it. And I'm sitting there just kind of just going, just doing my thing. It was like, all right, this guy's got it going on. And by the time I was done, I turned around and bought his CD.
Don't have nothing to put it on. But I was
going to say, it was a CD. I'm leaning over now because I found it in my bag today. So I got a CD. I have not even opened this bad boy. As far as I know, it could be a blank disc. So let's open this right now. Let's see. This is what it is. Some generic.
Wow. I think I still have a stack of those I bought from Prize when they went out of business.
Dude, for real. But it was. I think I ended up hearing like 4 of his songs, and 3 of the last 3, the first one I wasn't really paying attention to. The last 3 I was paying attention. No idea what he's saying, but the beat was pretty damn good. So I was like, for 2,000 yen, like $13, like why not? So did that.
You just helped spark his dream.
He dabbed me up. I did, like, exactly. He's like a black guy. He's dancing to my shit and give me support. He was like,
he knows what he's talking about. He went home and told this story to his mom and dad.
Absolutely, he did. Not realizing what he really needed was you two fuckers to give him dabs, and me, the wrong guy, to give him dabs. But that's okay.
That's
okay.
right.
He's still happy. But yeah, that was that. And once all that was done, I worked my way to the station. I got there about 45 minutes to an hour before they were going to board. Asked information to make sure like where I was going and everything, and they told me what track number and well, I guess whatever they call them there in the bus stations, whatever my area was like D11. I remember that much. It was like D11. Go chill here, and then wait for the 11:30 because it was obviously a bunch of buses.
Right.
And, oh my god! All the rumors y'all hear about the efficiency is not a joke. They had buses in queue. So let's say I got there at 10:15, my bus, or not 10:15. I got there like 10:30, 10:45. My bus was at 11:30. We're going to board at 11:20. So every bus, the 4 buses or 3 buses ahead of me, they would say like 10:50. At 10:40, a bus rolled up, literally on the dot.
Wow.
10:40 rolls up. They do the whole announcements, most of it in Japanese, and then they have the overcom thing, intercom thing of English. And then 10:50, that bus was gone. And then next bus is say 11:10, 11 o'clock, 10 minutes exactly. Bus pool. It was like the shit was just waiting there and just waiting and waiting. It was like, okay, now you can't come early, can't come late.
Nope.
Punctual.
Right on.
Showed up, they loaded. And if you weren't there, they just left your ass. I mean, they did. There was no. Well, our manifest says we're supposed to have. They don't care.
Nope.
It was wild to just watch 45 minutes of just this perfection. I was like, oh, my OCD was so happy. I'm just sitting there with my pokey sweat. I did, 'cause they had a vending machine there, and I needed something for the ride, right? So I grabbed 2 bottles of pokey sweat, and yeah, it was something. It was something.
But we'll hear about that next week.
I was gonna say,
we
that's
can
about
get into
that and we can get into Osaka. The bus ride is pretty straightforward, but we can get to Osaka a little bit next week.
Yeah, Disney and Osaka.
Hells yeah. But so happy Star Wars Day from all of our wrestling and fucking Star Trek
fans. From all your Star Trek and wrestling fans, happy Star Wars Day.
When God said, "Let there be light," I flipped a switch.
That means it's time for Lou to go to bed because he old as fuck.
Yeah, he is old as fuck.
He is. He's got work in the morning. Man, he is old as fuck. Man, I knew Burger King when he was a prince. So.
Fuck. All right.
Bye.
Cut it out.